Hello students, welcome back. In the last session we have discussed J scroll pane and the JList component of a swing. In today's session we will discuss some more components of swing. The components which we will discuss are J combo box and J table. So let's start. J combo box. So it is a component which is a combination of J text field and a drop down list. As a text field displays and allows us to edit a single item, even in a drop down, even in a J combo box, it displays a single item at a time and it allows you to edit an item. Like a drop down list, a J combo box also displays a list of items when we click on the arrow which is displayed along with a J combo box. J combo box is represented by a J combo box class in Java Swing. To create an object of J combo box, we have to use a class J combo box. As I've said, it displays one entry, but it will also display a drop down list that allows a user to select a different entry. So in case of combo box, it displays a single entry at a time, but upon clicking on an arrow, it displays list of items from which a user can select any item he wants. Now this is one constructor of J combo box. A J combo box which takes array of items, you can say array of objects, so object can be of any type here, array of objects as argument. So all those items will be displayed in the J combo box, and almost this is same like our JList which we have studied in the last session, but there is a difference between a JList and a combo box. JList displays all the items at a time and where we can select multiple items, but in case of J combo box, it displays a single item at a time, but upon clicking of an arrow, all the items are visible. The method add item can be used to add items dynamically. We can add items into J combo box at the time of design by using a constructor, that is J combo box, which takes a list of items. But even we can add items dynamically at runtime by using a method called as add item method. By using this, we can add items at runtime into the combo box. Now the event J combo box generates an action event when the user selects an item from the list. So when a user selects an item, it generates an action event. Like in case of button, also an action event is generated. Even in case of the combo box, whenever a user selects an item, action event is generated. Apart from that, it also generates item event when the state of selection changes. Now when it is generated when the state of selection changes, means when we change a selection from one item to another item, in that case also it generates an item event which occurs when an item is selected. There is a method called as get selected item to get the item which is currently selected. If I'm pressing on an item, if I'm clicking on an item, I can get that selected item by using a method get selected item. Okay, this is about J combo box. Let us go through an example to understand this in a better way. Okay, what I'll do, I'll directly go to Notepad and open the example. Okay, these are earlier examples. I'll create a new file. I already have an example, so I'll open that example. Okay, this is a file, open it. Okay, so this is a JComboBox example program. Again, initially some packages have been imported. We have a class JComboBox demo which is extending applet. Then in the class section we have some declarations here. We have declared a JLabel with the object name JLabel. We have also declared an image icon with the name country. Then the ComboBox object has been created here with the name JCB. So this is to demonstrate ComboBox. So ComboBox object is JCB, and we have created string array, and this is almost same like the last example, that is JList, So string array of flags where we have the names of countries: India, Australia, United States and United Kingdom. Okay, so all these items are stored in flags, and we want these items to be displayed in JComboBox. Okay, so after that we have an init method. As you know, inside the init method we have to create a GUI on event dispatching thread. So we have swing utilities dot invoke letter, invoke and wait, inside which we are creating a thread on event dispatching thread. Inside run we have called make GUI. So our actual code, it is in the method make GUI. So this is make GUI. Initially we have set the layout to flow layout. As we have discussed, layout decides how components are added on the container. Flow layout means components are added sequentially one after the other. Then we are instantiating the ComboBox. We are actually creating a ComboBox here. Now you can see how a ComboBox is created. ComboBox declaration, it is in the class section. So we have only the instantiation a part of the ComboBox here. Name of the object, that is JCB, which is declared at the top, is equals to new JComboBox, and to this constructor we are passing flags. It is array of string objects which we have created in the class section. So that we are passing means we are passing all the country names, that is India, United States, United Kingdoms, to this ComboBox. And lastly we are adding it, add JCB. So ComboBox has been added on the container. We have other components as well in this example program. We have a label. So we have created a label, and on the label we are adding something. We have seen this before also. On the label we are adding an icon by using an image icon class. So new image icon india.png. There are different images in my current folder. There is an image with the name india.png. So that image we are displaying on the JLabel. Okay, and then we have added a JLabel as well on the container. Now here it is demonstrated how an event can be handled on the ComboBox. We have an object JCB, that is a ComboBox, and we are adding an event listener on this. Add action listener. We are handling action event is equals to inside the bracket what we are doing is we are using anonymous inner class to handle the event. Now new action listener, as I've said about anonymous inner class, so there is a class which has no name and which is implementing action listener interface. So anonymous inner class, as a class inherits a listener interface, then it has to provide the body for the method. So there is one method in action listener, that is action performed. So we have declared that method here, public void action performed, action event A. Inside this we have string s is equals to, we are getting the item which is selected in the list. Now for that, as we have seen, we have a method get a selected item. So JCB, that is our object name, dot get selected item will give us the item which we have selected, and then that item will be stored in S. Then what we are doing, we have a variable country is equals to new image icon. Country, it is a type of image icon which we have declared in the class section, is equals to new image icon. We are creating a new icon with the name which is selected from the drop down list or combo box. So combo box, suppose in the combo box we have United States. So if I select United States, that United States will be stored in S, and that in United States ODS we are passing here as an argument to image icon. So it will fetch an image from the directory with the name United States.png, but there has to be an image with that name in your current directory. I have some images, I'll show you with these names. And then lastly, on the J label we are adding that icon by using set icon method, set icon country. So this means whenever I change my selection, initially it was India. If I select United States flag will be displayed. If I select United Kingdom, United Kingdom's flag is displayed, like that. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so I'll show you the images which I have in the directory. You can see we have image with Australia.png, then India.png, same way like United Kingdom and United States.png. These images we will be displaying whenever an item is selected, and item names are same like the image name, right? India, United Kingdoms, and so on. Now let us execute this. I'll open CMD. Okay, move to the folder F, the drive F. Then we will compile the program Java C. The file name is jcombobox. Demo.java. Okay, it has been compiled. There are some notes, but these are not errors, so we can proceed with the execution. So we will use applet weaver space again jcombobox. Okay, there is an exception in reading the file. The system cannot find the file specified, so we are not able to find, or we are not able to execute this HTML file. Okay, let us verify if we have the HTML code inside our file. Okay, the file name is wrong here. The file name is jcombobox demo. We have used only jcombobox here. Okay, let me try it again. Okay, now you can see the program is executed. Here it is, and initially the Indian flag is displayed. Initially India is selected here and Indian flag is displayed. If I change the selection, if I make it as Australia, you can see Australian flag is displayed. If I select United States flag is displayed. Okay, United Kingdom's flag is displayed. United States, then United States flag is displayed. And this is the combo box. Can you see a combo box? Only one item is displayed on the top, whereas whenever you click on the arrow, all the items are visible to you. So this is called as jcombobox. Okay. Okay, that's it about jcombobox. Let us move to the next component. The next component is JTable. JTable, as the name suggests, displays content in the rows and columns. Many times we want to display some contents in the rows and columns. In such cases we can use JTable component. So JTable component can be created by using a constructor, that is JTable, which takes, you can see, object of type two-dimensional array, and again one more object, that is column headings, arrays. So if you look at the table, you will get to know why these objects are passed. So table is something like a combination of rows and columns. It has columns and rows. So whenever we want to display information in rows and columns, say this is my heading, registration number, this is name and address and phone number. So these are headings, and these headings we need to pass here as a second argument, column headings, to create a JTable. And this is an array because we have multiple headings. So an array has to be created and we have to send the headings. Then if you look at the first argument, it is matrix or two-dimensional array. That is the actual data. So register number, say 1, name, say XYZ or X, mobile number, address, same like 2, name Y, and the other information. Like this we can have any number of rows of information, and this information, if you look at, we cannot store this information in single dimensional array because we are having multiple rows. So we need two-dimensional array where every row is stored in a row and column is stored in these 2 dimensions. And so we have the first object as data, that is two-dimensional array, which contains the actual data to be displayed in the JTable. Okay, a JTable can generate several different events. The two most fundamentals to tables operations are list selection event and table model event. There are many different events which are generated by JTable, but two fundamental events are list selection event and the table model event. Okay, now there are certain steps which we can use to create a JTable. The steps are: first, create the JTable object by using a constructor which is shown here. Secondly, we need to create a scroll pane. Why to need a scroll pane? Because a JTable contains multiple rows of information which might not fit in the viewable area. So many times we need a JScroll pane to scroll the rows which are there in the JTable. So we have to add a scroll bars to JTable, and for that we may need a JScroll pane. Without the JScroll pane also we can create a table, but if it do not fits in the viewable area, then the other rows which are there in the JTable may not be visible. So we are creating a JScroll pane here, and then the JTable is added to the scroll pane, and lastly add the scroll pane to the content pane of the applet. So first we are creating a table like this asset. So this is our table. This is the first step. Second step is to create a scroll pane which looks something like this. Okay, so I'll say this is a scroll pane. So I am drawing this on the computer and by using a mouse, and that is the reason it is not that perfect. Okay, so it will look something like this. So when you create a scroll pane, so you will create something like this, a scroll pane. It is also a container, as I said. It has scroll bars, vertical scroll bars, horizontal scroll bar, and this is the place where you can add the items. Okay, so the next step after creating it is add the table to the scroll pane. Now this table which we have created, we have to add it to scroll pane, means it will be displayed somewhere here in the scroll pane. So table will be added like this. Okay, then add the scroll pane to the content pane of applet. So we have an applet also. So this is an applet. An applet has a top bar, that is title bar. So we have buttons like close and other two buttons. On the applet we have to add the scroll pane. Scroll pane has to be added on the applet here. So we will have scroll pane along with the table, okay, at the end. So these are the steps which needs to be followed to create a table. So let's go through an example to understand this. Okay, I'll open a notepad and already I have a file, so I'll open the file. File is jtable. So this is my file, jtable.java. I'll open it. Okay, the initial part remains same. This is the HTML code. The class jtable extends applet. There are no variables declared at the top. Then inside the init, inside the thread, we are creating GUI by using make GUI. Now in the make GUI we have our main code. So first we are creating the column headings. As I've said, in the table we need column headings. So we have created a column heading, you can see here, string array column heads is equals to name, address and phone number. We have created an array here. You know how to create an array in Java. So array which contains column headings we have created. Next we are creating a two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array also you already know, two-dimensional array. So how a two-dimensional array is created, you can see we have a main bracket open and at the end this bracket has been closed when all the data closes, and inside that we have every row which we need in the table. So this is my first row, then the comma, second row information, third row, fourth row, like that. Okay, so in two-dimensional array the first row contains name like Sunil, address and the mobile number. The second row, again it has to be inside the flower brackets. Like this we have created some set of rows and that has been stored in a variable called as data. Then we are creating a table here. So this is how a table is created. Jtable, table is equals to new jtable. It takes two arguments, I said. First is data, that is two-dimensional array, and second is column heading which is one-dimensional array. Then the table is created, and lastly we are adding a scroll pane also. We need a scroll pane JSP is equals to new scroll pane jtable. Jtable is passed to the scroll pane, and lastly the scroll pane itself is added on the main container. Okay, let us execute this. The file name is jtabledemo.java. Then let us execute it by using applet viewer. Okay, now you can see the output here. The output is displayed in rows and columns. So these are our column headings, name, address and phone, and this is our main content. And when I drag it, there is no scroll bar because the content is viewable, complete content is viewable. But if I reduce the size of viewable area, you can see automatically the scroll bar is displayed. Okay, this is about the JTable component in Java Swing. And with this, we are at the end of unit number 2 as well. In the next session, we will start with a new unit. We will stop here today. Thank you.